Hello and welcome to autoportal.com, the car buying website that helps you buy better. Well, we hope you are enjoying the videos we're putting up and you have subscribed to our YouTube channel. If not, you can do that by clicking here on the link above. On today's show, we have the Maruti Ertiga for you. Now, this is a compact MPV, which is for those of you who enjoy driving themselves and love traveling with the entire family together. Well, the Ertiga is based on the Swift platform, so it shares a lot of components with that car. Even the platform is the same, it's a stretched Swift platform. The headlamps are exactly the same, the alloy wheel design is very similar. Even the side indicator integrated into the side view mirrors is the same. The glass area is much bigger, of course, because it's a much bigger car, it's a bigger cabin. The rear door, it's much longer than the Swift, which really helps you get in and out of the car much better. And let's move to the back now and see what this car is all about. Well, let's have a look at the boot of the Ertiga. There's very little room to keep any luggage with all three rows up. So what you have to do is really flip these seats down to get more luggage space. And voila, you have a nice flat loading area and there's no lip at all. So loading those big suitcases when you're coming back from the airport should really be nice and easy. This is a big boot with the last row down, mind you. Well, the similarities with the Swift's cabin ends in the front seats. The rear seats are completely different. This bench has got good amount of leg room. If you adjust the front seats according to my height, which is 5'10", you also get these rare AC vents on the top of the line ZXi and ZDI versions, and they really go a long way in adding to the comfort. The throw-off air is very nice. What you also get are these sliding seats. You can push them forward or backwards depending on who's sitting at the back. Another plus point is, of course, this flattish floor panel, which really helps for the middle passenger on those long journeys to keep his feet at. But there's one more thing, you can really pull out this nice armrest in the middle if you don't want to be disturbed by the passenger next to you, and just pull it out and just look out of this window. In fact, there's another plus point in these seats, this huge window at the back, which really adds to that feeling of airiness in the cabin and goes a long way in enhancing the comfort at the back. Well, to get into the last row of seats, you have to pull this little lever on the side of this one, move it forward, and well, once you're in, legroom is just about adequate in the last row of seats, but it's not really much. In fact, if you pull this back all the way, which I'll show you in a bit, you really will suffer from knee cramp or, you know, a lot of pain in the knees if you're going on that long journey. Not really ideal for tall passengers, but maybe these seats are good for small kids really. Well, if you've been inside a Maruti Swift before, then the Ertiga's cabin will be very familiar to you. It's exactly the same dashboard, exactly the same integrated stereo, and exactly the same steering wheel actually. You do have a few good points about it. Points like good cabin quality, nice surfacing, a lot of places to keep your small knickknacks. You get this nice shelf to keep your coins in. There's this little cup holder for the co-passenger, and the small cubby holes all around the cabin really. But what you really will miss is Bluetooth connectivity on the stereo, and there's no automatic climate control even on this top end version, which is really very surprising. On the plus side though, you do get nice seats. They're very comfortable, flat, and there's good bolstering as well on those long journeys for you. The steering wheel adjusts for rake, but surprisingly not for reach, which is really a little silly. On the plus side, you can adjust your seat for height, so you get a nice view from these high set seats of the road ahead, and that really is a big asset on the highway. Well, the Ertiga comes with two engine options. There's a 1.4 petrol, which makes about 94 bhp of power, and there's the option we're driving today, the 1.3 DDIS engine, the diesel engine option in this car. Now, this is exactly the same engine which goes into the Swift and the Ritz and the Swift Desire, but it gets a bigger turbo, so you get more power. Instead of 75 bhp, this car gets 90 bhp. Well, the 90 bhp 1.3 litre multi-jet diesel engine on this car feels very sluggish when you're driving it in the city. Below 2000 RPM, it's not really very quick to respond to throttle inputs, and that can make driving in the city very cumbersome. You have to wait for the right amount of RPM to be fed into the engine for it to really start moving, and that means you really need to constantly use this gearbox. The gearbox on the other side is a very slick unit. It's nice and crisp, there's no notchiness in it, and that along with the light clutch. Well, the light steering wheel is pretty decent on feedback. You get plenty of information from what's happening with the steering from the tires up ahead, and you'll enjoy driving this car on your own if you really are that kind of person who loves to go out on the weekends for long distance journeys with your family. It's one of the best packages overall in terms of the driving dynamics. The ride is also pretty sorted out. It's got a soft edge to the ride, so it managed to keep most of the potholes out of the cabin. And even on the highway, when you're doing 100, 120 kph, it feels very stable. The ride is reassuring. The brakes are very good, and they have a very, very nice and linear feedback when you press the pedal. Overall, it's a good car to drive when you're out on the highway. Just except for that little sluggishness when you're in the city, it's a good package in the diesel engine. If you're in the market for a compact MPV which you can drive yourself every day to the office and on the weekends travel with the entire family in it, then the Ertiga fits the bill perfectly. It might be compromised on some areas, but as an overall package, it's really hard to beat this car from Maruti. It's another winner from the house of Maruti.